Part 2. When I turned 18, they threw me a birthday party, or more accurately, a roast. They literally called it that. My dad stood up and said, "Let's all take turns saying something funny about him." For 30 minutes, my friends, siblings, and parents took shots at me while everyone laughed. Things like, "He's finally legal, maybe he'll grow a personality now," or "Maybe now you'll stop crying over jokes." It was supposed to be fun, but I remember standing there, smiling, feeling my chest tighten. When it ended, my dad said, "See, we only roast the ones we love." I wanted to believe that. College was my escape. I picked a school 3 states away. The first week there, someone teased me lightly, and I laughed, but too hard. The way you laugh when you're terrified it'll turn mean. The girl who said it looked confused and asked, "Hey, I was just kidding. Are you okay?" That question broke something in me, because no one had ever asked that before. By sophomore year, I realized I was off. I apologized too much. I couldn't take compliments. If someone said something nice, I'd deflect it with humor. My roommate noticed. He said, "Dude, you act like everyone's waiting to make fun of you." I didn't know how to respond, so I made a joke. Then one day, my psychology professor gave a lecture on emotional neglect. She talked about how constant ridicule, even disguised as humor, rewires your brain, makes you hypervigilant, always expecting criticism. She said it's not the joke that hurts, it's the message behind it, that you're not safe. That hit hard. I started therapy that semester. When I told my therapist about my parents, I tried to make it sound funny. They used to pretend to drive away without me. You know, typical parent humor. She didn't laugh. She just looked at me and said softly, "That's not humor. That's fear conditioning." I didn't know how to react. For years, I'd told those stories as punchlines. But for the first time, someone looked at me with empathy instead of amusement. That day, I went home and sat in silence for hours. That summer, I went home for the holidays. I thought maybe things had changed. But on the first night, my dad said, "Look who's back, the college kid who thinks he's smarter than everyone now." My mom added, "Maybe he'll teach us how to be perfect like his therapist taught him." They laughed. I didn't. I just said, "That's not funny." The room went quiet. My dad scoffed. "Oh, come on. Don't start this sensitive nonsense again." I said, "It's not nonsense. It hurt." He rolled his eyes. "You really can't take a joke." That night, I packed a bag and left. I drove to a motel and sat in the parking lot for an hour before going in. I wasn't angry, just empty. I realized I had spent my whole life waiting for them to love me the way I loved them. But maybe that version of them didn't exist. Over time, I built my own version of family.